Hi, this is Shelley Kraft, and welcome to SNN Live. We're coming to you live from the Cambridge House Resource Conference 2012, right here in lovely downtown Vancouver, BC. I have Leonard Melman, the Melman Report writer, featured speaker at Cambridge, rack on tour, and a guy that knows a lot of stuff, ladies and gentlemen. So, welcome to SNN Live again.
It's a pleasure to be here again.
So now, it's January 2012. Kind of glad to see 2011 go. Where do you think we go in 2012? And the world wants to know.
Let me put it this way. I try to look at the world through a very long-term perspective. The most important point to me in that long-term perspective is a growing number of people around the world who are growing disenchanted with the world's political and economic leadership. As that disenchantment grows, they also lose faith in the economic system and ultimately in the fiat currencies that are part of the economic system. Therefore, a percentage, and I believe it's a growing percentage, are turning toward gold and silver, which accounts for gold's huge run last year from roughly 1,300 right up to 19. We've had a correction, but I'm looking for this disenchantment to continue to grow and to provide gold and silver with a tremendous rally in the last half of 2012.
Now, how do you account for this sudden surge and rise in the Dow Jones Industrial Average in the U.S. and the market looking like it's going to not stop going up, and all of a sudden the political landscape looks a lot better, and the Obama administration, is grabbing on to how good the economy looks, and the jobs numbers have shrunken?
By the strangest coincidence, I wrote about exactly that in my website, Melman Minute, of a few days ago. And the point I want to make very clearly is, yes, out of the trillions of dollars of stimulation, we may actually get an improvement in the economy, not a long-lasting economic reversal to the plus side, but a bubble. But that bubble is being played for every possible worth by the Obama administration. But I also wrote something very clear. If you look at the chart of the Dow Jones trading during the last 20 days or so, it is incredible. It angles at about 45 degrees up without a variation. And that, in all my 30 years of experience in markets, I have never seen that before. And the only two words I can apply to it are artificial and manipulation. Every time the market seems to want to go down, this mysterious force immediately comes in and sends the Dow Industrials higher. But never runaway higher, just a steady progression upward, which I assume is meant to build confidence in the public. And very possibly it's geared toward a re-election of Obama in November of 2012. But I really believe those two words are appropriate: artificial and manipulation.
That's a very flagrant statement. This is tantamount to looking at a marketplace and saying that it's not operating appropriately.
To use the appropriate term, it's not entirely kosher. We are getting... I have come to believe over the last 5-6 years that the information we get from governments around the world is not always 100% objective truth, that there is some distortion for political benefit, and I'll be candid enough to say that I think the level of distortion is growing as the economic fundamentals become terrifyingly worse. Governments around the world are trying to cover up in any way possible the true status of things. And I'll give you a very quick illustration just how bad I believe they are. There's a news release this morning from the finance minister of Spain. and he reported that the Spanish economy was going into recession in the coming year, and that it would contract by 1.5%, despite earlier forecasts that things were going to get better. But it was his reason why that I found so fascinating. He said, because of new taxes and lower payments of welfare to the citizenry, household income was declining, and because household income was declining, the economic activity was diminishing, which was going to cause less tax revenue for the government, which was going to increase deficits. Now, at the same time, all European leaders are telling these troubled nations they've got to have austerity, and they've got to have more taxes, and they've got to spend less, which is exactly what's reducing economic activity in Spain. So the remedy appears to be worse than the disease, but without any remedy, the disease is overpowering, and it is a quandary that is immense, and it's proven by the fact that on January 30th, the European community will have its 16th summit to resolve this problem. 16 attacks without one of them ever being successful. It is an immense problem. It's scaring a lot of people, and I think it's going to continue for the rest of the year and even become worse down the road.
Ladies and gentlemen, Leonard Melman, a voice of reason and in some circles treason. Ladies and gentlemen, he writes the Melman Report. What's your website?
www.themelmanreport.com.
Go find out what this man has to say. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming.
My pleasure again.